The only thing that has killed more than the European male is nature. The Tokyo firebombing, it was Hiroshima, it was Nagasaki, and another thing they mentioned, it was the Second Punic Wars when Hannibal was fighting Romans. Look at how many Native Americans were here that aren't now. Look how many black people died in the modern slave trade. The only thing that's killed more people than the European white male is the mosquito.
Shout out to the big homie DL Hewley, folks. Go check him out. Link is in description. And on today's video of Politics of Being Black, we'll break down a guy that I'm tired of talking about this week, Chud the Destroyer, who destroyed his own butt today. We've got that. I'm going to start doing a segment on my show called The Capitalism Corner, because one of the fundamentals of this channel is how the colonizers put societal norms in place for you to believe that they didn't abide by so they can run away with your money. And that all ties to capitalism. We got that. We're going to also talk about Trump's response and his behavior in China. James Carville is going to drop you some nuggets on that. And we're going to have Kirsten, I forgot her last name, read some mean tweets that come out from Trump. All this, so much more starts. Lamont, Tyson, Politics of Being Black. Let's get it.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that full. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
All right, folks, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. I will try to get this fixed in a second, but you are in the building. I'm the all-knowing, all-loving, all-feeling, all-seeing, all-powerful, all-woke and all-equitable, sexy as hell host, damn all everything, Lamont Tyson, bringing you Politics of Being Black. What we do on my show is we go through and we debunk all the colonizer myths that they have put in place to divide us as a nation, and to see them run off with your money with their rich seedlings, white, Republican, MAGA dudes. And we use instances from today's society to show you how it is all a myth. And we also occasionally bring on guests, and we do everything we can to show you why equity is the best policy for everybody in America. First story, good old myth we're going to debunking. Whenever you hear white Republican dudes talking about how much they hate gays, lesbians, all that, I've always told you all, it is a projection of what they really love. Whenever white masculine dudes have to tell you how masculine and tough they are, it is a window into their soul of just how lack of masculine and tough they are. Here we have Chud the Builder going to jail because he shot his own ass. Godfrey reacts. But the important part of this story, ladies and gentlemen, Chud the Builder used to like putting plugs in his butt, getting a male to get a hammer and hammer that bitch all the way up to his nose. Think I'm kidding? Take a look at this story. I can't make this stuff.
So Chud the Builder is finally arrested. Chud the Builder shot a black dude. Black dude attacked him, but he, of course, was antagonizing the black dude because that's what he's been doing for the past couple months, you know. And Chud shot himself. Hooray. In fact, he didn't shoot himself well enough, I don't think. I don't condone violence, but f that dude. For real. F him because he said f black people. And by the way, also, Chud, you were being pegged by a black woman. Yeah, there's a black woman online say, yo, I used to peg you. I used to push in your ass. You used to f me.
I've always been Dalton, but I am a Chud. Yeah, you were cool as shit. I remember you. I don't remember you that much, but I do remember I know you. See, we got roots.
What's up, y'all? Lily Venus here. Pretty bitch with a big. It's literally in my bio. I'm only bringing this up because Chud the Builder's cameraman put our conversation on Broadway on YouTube, and we did Raw Dog. A lot. Me, him, and my ex-wife. I am a professional pegger. It is no secret. His cheeks used to clap in such like the cutest way. I talk about me pegging all the time, but I never tell you names. But Chud mentioned it first. Like, if you're gonna say that we say the whole truth, okay?
Of course, a white dude who hates black men fucking black women. That's typical. A white dude fucking black women disrespecting black men. That's usually the typical thing. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad this black girl came out, but yeah, she said she didn't know. Oh, I didn't know he was racist. I didn't know. Okay, whatever. Anyway, but I'm glad you came out because it really made everything interesting because it makes sense. It's like this guy hates he's calling people, and a black girl is sticking it up his ass. That's usually the case. Anyway, yes, I'm going there. I don't give a f. Chud the Builder, you're going to be arrested. I think you're facing 15 to 20 years. And I hope you get locked the fuck up and you become Stud the Butthole. That's what I'm waiting on. You're going to be Stud the Butthole. Because I know they know who the fuck you are. And I hope you keep your cowboy hat on and bite that pillow.
See, folks, colonizer pushed societal narratives so that you don't get to do nothing, but these MFers hide in closets and do stuff. I'm done talking about Chud, the fake ass builder, after this, but let's just keep this thing 100, folks. This is the MAGA male. This is the Republican male. This is the male who followed the lineage from the stereotypes and the things put in place by the colonizers of this country. When I opened this video with DL saying that the people that have killed the most outside of natural disasters being white Europeans, it is absolutely true because they have all these damn insecurities. And Chud the Builder is no different. He really wants to come out the closet and be a gay dude who gets his butt hammered to his nose. But he can't do that because he's got to uplift this fake ass I'm ravishing Rick Rude with a cowboy hat on persona. When, dude, be yourself. You can be masculine and get your butt plugged. A lot of dudes in jail that way. Highly masculine men that like taking stuff up their butt. It is nothing wrong with that. Matter of fact, I support you in being yourself. I'm an equitable Lamont Tyson. I support that. But instead, because you've got this chip on your shoulder, this insecurity, this personal deep insecurity, you have to go running around demeaning other people that society has said are inadequate, 3/4 of a man, black males. So this is what your ass get. And I hope that you get hammered, no, drilled while you're in jail. Now, it came out that he's got a bond at $1.2 million. But folks, this is just typical behavior. Typical behavior. If we would all abide by let people do them as long as it doesn't trample on your rights to life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and you're safe, and it doesn't impede on anybody else's safety or property, we would be fine. But no, too many people want to go by the put in place societal norm by the colonizers, and we're going to continue to see this stupid ass behavior. Post your comments. Let me know what you think. I can't wait to hear from you guys. And let's get on to the next story. Now, this one is going to come to us, folks, from someone who does a great job on politics. You should follow his link on IG at Politicon. James Carville, Democrat strategist, who I never liked in the beginning because he was too centrist. And my perspective on people who like to pretend like they're independent or centrist, you're full of hooey. Because at the end of the day, when you go vote, you're voting for either party. You're voting for one or the other. Now, your ideals might be center, but since no party is 100% center, if that is like a hard line for you, you probably shouldn't be voting, or you should vote third party. And even when you do that, your vote doesn't count because the third party is not viable in America. And I'm even more harsh on people who like to say I'm fucking independent. No, you're not. You get in there, you're voting left or right, Democrat or Republican, one way or the other. And so for that reason, James Carville used to get on my nerves. But now he's seen the light. He understands how far right this country has gone because people like him used to do this bull jive. I'm center. I'm above the fray. I'm so center. You've got to like me because I like some policies of the Democrats, but I like some Republican policies, so I'm center. Well, he's over that. And he's talking about Trump and the embarrassment Trump was on this trip overseas. Take a look at this.
I think there's only one thing that he's thinking about in his trip to China, and that is a big grift. Look at who he's taking with him. Look at what he's doing. Okay. And the Chinese, there's going to be economic exchanges. It's going to be investment opportunities. Okay. You can see this is where this is going. They just buy him off. He does not care when he says that. Now, I'll tell you one other thing he doesn't give a shit about. Every Republican member of Congress, United States Senate, state legislator, governor, county commissioner, mayor, you think he does not give one shit about it. It is the last thing that he is worried about. He doesn't care as long as he can go there and make as much money as fast as he can make it. That's all that he cares about. And what's really interesting is all the people he has on the plane. We just took the first 3 rows of his inauguration, put him on Air Force One, and he took Eric, who handles the business end of his business. You're going to watch a grift and graft over there like you can't imagine. That's all this trip is about. And I got news for you, Mr. and Mrs. Joe Sixpack, or whoever you are out there. He doesn't give a shit about you, your future, your finances, your retirement, your anything. He just cares about making all the money he can as fast as he can.
100% true, folks. 100% true. It's always bothered me how the Republican Party wants us to think that China is our enemy. And the minute Trump gets over there, he's talking niceties about Xi Jinping, or 11, as I call him, because he spells his name X1. That's 11. Damn it, I don't care what you say. Well, no, let me take that back, because China's language and the way they present it and spells it is different. So I'll take that back. I'm sorry that I said that. But China don't really give 2 shits about America. China and Japan own so much of our debt. They basically own us. And all Trump is over there doing is trying to grift an opportunity with them, a side deal, when Xi Jinping got up there in front of the microphone and said that America's economy is drifting and going horrible. Trump tried to get on the microphone and clean it up and try to blame it on that he said it was 2 years ago. That man did not say it was 2 damn years ago. That man said what he said, and you sat there and you smiled, because who knows what kind of backdoor deal you made with China that the Republicans have always taught us is communist, right? We ain't supposed to get along with communist China. But for some reason, Trump loves palling up with these dictators and communist countries. He loves to talk stuff nice and sweet about their leaders. Kind of makes me wonder, how deep is the Stockholm Syndrome in MAGA? Because it seems to me anything Trump likes or wants to do that you're not supposed to like, that was put in place by the colonists who came and took over here, all of a sudden, because they love Trump so much, they are willing to bail on the plane that has Jesus on it if Trump wants to go down in the ship. So you guys let me know how you feel. Just an international embarrassment Trump is. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get to the new segment of my show that I call the Capitalism Corner. Any white MAGA male watching this is either going to be turned on so hard that his Woody is going to poke through the screen, or he's going to run, because we're getting ready to go to a very, very beautiful, intelligent, highly educated economist, Nicole Purvey on IG. Her link is in the description. As she breaks down what we're seeing with inflation and 2 economies in America, which Kamala Harris tried to warn you MAGA males about, but you didn't listen. Here we go with Nicole.
The U.S. Federal Reserve Bank of New York just admitted that poor people are experiencing more inflation than rich people. Yes, your jaw should be on the floor. I will explain everything to you. I'm also going to break down some research that the New York Fed has been quietly conducting for a while. And when I explain all this, you will also understand why the mainstream media is not making a big deal out of it, in spite of the fact that this is probably the biggest piece of news to come out of the financial world today. So today, the New York Fed just published an article saying that they've been doing research about inflation and things are not what they seem. You may have heard this, that we are entering into a K-shaped economy. One of the big things about a K-shaped economy that a lot of people are not talking about is that K-shaped economies happen after a recovery. So basically when there's a recession and then K, it describes the graph of economic wealth. The top goes high and the bottom part goes low, like a K. Rich people get richer and then poor people get poorer. The thing that people aren't talking about is the fact that you have to have a recession beforehand. Now you may be thinking, this makes sense. We had the 2020 recession from COVID. Technically we were in a recession from February 2020 to April 2020. But the reality is, y'all know I love a good I told you so moment. If you've been following me for a while, then you know that I've been telling y'all ever since 2022 we were actually in a recession, that some kind of way they masked, because this K-shaped economy has been appearing ever since 2023. And so here we are. So I'm going to give you maybe the top 3 things that came out of the reports that the New York Fed published. Number 1, quote unquote, low income households consistently face higher inflation than middle and income households did. Number 2, we find that consumption has exhibited a K-shaped economy since 2023, although not in the pre-COVID period or during the post-COVID recovery. Aggregate statistics can mask important differences in economic experiences across demographic and socioeconomic groups. This means when you see a leading or lagging economic indicator, it takes into consideration everything, when the reality is the aggregate, this big number that considers everything, doesn't paint the full picture. I've said this on my podcast that we really have 3 Americas. This is saying we at least have 2, but we really have 3. This another type of economy that people talk about is an E-shaped economy. Totally possible. But the reality is we don't have one. So when you're looking at leading and lagging economic indicators, right now, aggregate's not telling the whole entire story. And I'll give you one more. Differences in wealth appreciation appear to play an important role in explaining the divergence in consumption growth. Let's move on to what you can do about it. First thing, focus on increasing ownership and cash flowing assets, not just increasing your income. One of the things that they talk about in the report is what created this top part of the K is wealth, not just income. The second thing is you want to make sure that you specialize right now in a skill. For those of you who are jack of all trades, master of none, this is not the time to do that. Pick something and go deep in it, because the people who are at the top of the K are people who have highly trained skill set. You already know I have so much more to say about this, but I only got 3 minutes here. What I am going to do is do a deep dive in my newsletter, because one of the things that it talked about was systematic heterogeneity. Try saying that fast 3 times. I want to explain it to you because the smart people really need to know this. For the people that don't want to know, I don't have to tell you. Comment newsletter down below and I will send you my last newsletter, which you'll immediately get that and you'll be on the list to get the next newsletter. Comment newsletter down below and I'm going to add you to the list.
I know I lost MAGA because MAGA doesn't understand anything unless it's in like quick form, Make America Great Again or Lock Her Up. And for those of you that she kind of talked over your head, let me break this shit down for you even deeper. She's basically saying that to help overcome the issue with inflation, you need to have assets that are a hedge against inflation. Real estate, stocks, bonds, securities, equities, whatever. But the problem is there's just not enough income for those people who need to get out the bottom of the K to do that. And I'll expand on that in a minute. But how does that K turn into a K? She said it, but she didn't break it down the way I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna tell you how that happens. Inflation, folks, comes from when people who are already rich get to say that because there's too much money in the market, we need to raise the prices on goods and services. Now, that's not the only way, but that is the main way the rich people get it. I mean, you could have an imbalance with goods, services offered. You can have those type of imbalances that can also create inflation. But that's not what we got with Trump. We got a flooding of money. And here's the problem. When that flood of money comes out, let's just say it's 100% flood of money. Who gets 85 to 75% of that flood of money? The rich people. And when interest rates are at a certain level, of course, that benefits the rich because they get to go take out loans on their assets. And those rates are already lower because they're going to be using their physical assets than what me and you would get because we're not putting up an asset. And they get to take all their earned income, circumvent paying taxes, throw it into those assets, and then get to live off that money that they got a loan on, very low interest rate, and then all this extra surplus money that's coming into the market that they got 75% of and you only got 25% of, they now get to get the upfront part, and then they get to say that, oh, well, shit, it's all this money in the market, we got to inflate our prices. So then they raise prices on you on goods and services for their businesses, and now they're making even more money on the back end because they've raised your prices. What did you get in return for all that? You didn't get the majority of that inflated money, and now you're having to pay more on the money that you're getting that did not increase. You see how that K works? You see how that shit splits? This is not lips, ladies and gentlemen. This is a K. And the K is pathetic because we don't have enough guardrails on capitalism. And we've allowed colonizers and their children to continue this Republican mantra of capitalism is the best system in the world. And it could be a great system when the guardrails are in place. Capitalism has run a fucking muck. And now we just got Kevin Wersch. He became the 17th Fed chair today, and he is going to be put in there to do nothing but Donald Trump's bidding, which is making interest rates low, which is going to hurt inflation even worse because right now is not a time to be dropping the rates even fucking lower. So folks, post your comments and let me know, are you increasing your knowledge in how this crony capitalism works? At the very least, understanding the fundamentals so that you can try to do the best you can to fight. I do support Nicole and what she's saying. If you have any disposable money, definitely invest in stocks because it's easier to get into that than real estate. And if you don't have any disposable money, try your best to work on a side hustle that can make you some money. Maybe YouTube, maybe trading stocks. Doesn't cost you a lot to trade stocks. You can follow me each and every day. I go live at 9:30 on my stock channel. Let me show you the link for that right here. Win by losing in stocks. You see my live trades each and every day. And if you don't know how to trade and you want to learn, you can get a one-on-one with me so I can help teach you my system of trading. And maybe that can be a vehicle for you guys to kind of pull that K curve more to a V curve. Last thing we're going to cover today, and then I will see you guys next week, is a little something funny. We've got a Hollywood superstar reading Trump's mean tweets when he should be doing something to help the economy, but he's not because he doesn't care. This comes to us from Kristen. I forgot her last name. She was in Mean Girls, Gossip Girls, one of those shows. But I do like the actress. I just tend to forget her name. She does a lot of commercials now. She was on one of the late night comedy shows reading his tweets from 2018. Take a look at this. I'm sorry, I forgot her last name. You see the kind of country we're living in, ladies and gentlemen. We're living in a reality TV presidency, and nothing about politics should be this damn exciting. And when I say exciting, it's a double-edged sword because you do want people to be informed about politics, but you want them to be informed on factual politics, not things that juice it up that are lies. Politics should technically be boring, and we should find ways to make that boring educational, which is why I continue to scream, Democrats, you've got to get into the school systems, make a more concerted dedication to education, facts, logic, and critical thinking, so that people don't grow up needing to have politics be the way it is with Trump each and every day that's hurting the American people and is built on lies. So folks, let me know what you think. That's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. Please, please turn on your notifications because my shorts are doing great. But my standalone videos that I do, and sometimes my live streams are not getting out the notifications that they should. So I would love for you all to be here with me each and every day. I go live between 11:30 and usually 12:30. I'm trying to iron that time down, but I'm usually stock trading too. So sometimes it becomes hard. But please be sure to just keep your notifications on, share my content. I am so thankful for you all that come and visit with me and are understanding why I'm into this game, debunking myths, spreading equity, inclusion, progressiveness, and ensuring that everybody, and not just the 1%, has the true path to life, liberty, and happiness without it being impeded by fascists and dictators. And until that next Sex is Hell video, I'm out.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.